So here we go, example 2. What are we expanding and simplifying? Expanding and simplifying this multiplication, p plus 5 times p minus 2. We would call these two terms binomials because they each have two terms. So we're multiplying two binomials together. So as mentioned previously, we can use the distributive property as it is written. Distributive property, whoops. Or we can use something called FOIL, which is basically just a special form of the distributive property, and it only works when you're multiplying a binomial by a binomial. Anything differently and you can't use FOIL. So let's first use this, do this question by using distributive property. So here's my question, p plus 5 multiplied by p minus 2. With distributive property, we have to remember this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to take this p and multiply it by this binomial, and then in our next step we want to take that 5 and multiply it by this binomial. So it's written out as p times p minus 2 plus, and it's plus because this is a plus 5 times p minus 2. So we expand that, we bomb that in. Oh, there's my dog barking because I'm talking and I'm the only one home. Bomb this 5 in. So we get p squared. So p times p is p squared. P times minus 2 is minus 2p. Plus 5 times p is 5p. And 5 times minus 2 is minus 10. And we would simplify this by combining those like terms. We would get p squared plus 3p minus 10. And that would be this question expanded and simplified. Now, like mentioned before, we can use FOIL because we're multiplying two binomials together. We can use FOIL. Remember, it stands for first, outside, inside, last. So p plus 5, p minus 2. p plus 5 times p minus 2. And whenever I'm using FOIL, I always put my arrows in. So it's first, so the first two terms I multiply together. P times p is going to give me p squared. My outside two terms outside of each bracket, p times minus 2 is minus 2p. Inside two terms, 5 times p is 5p plus 5p. And then outside two terms, or last two terms, 5 times minus 2 is minus 10. And again, combining like terms, I'm going to go p squared plus 3p minus 10. And there's that binomial expanded and simplified. So two ways to expand and simplify binomials, one using distributive property, the other using FOIL.